the session ended. I don't want to use the word acrimony, but I'm struggling to get a better word to use. But I mean, the situation escalated quite quickly, so we were not able to pass our condolences. And if you allow me, in a minute, I want to pass my condolences to the family of the Honorable Raila Odinga, his wife, the children, our colleague Senator Oburu, who is now the new party leader of ODM. Mr. Speaker, sir, the departed Prime Minister is a man who lived one of the most successful political lives any politician would think about. He worked with virtually every regime. They all came and left him. He worked with President Moi, came and left him. And there are many things that we can learn from him, but I think the hallmark of what I would learn as a young leader from the Honorable Raila Odinga is being brave, choosing the path of justice, even when it is very lonely sometimes. You do not have, and it was said in a book that I read called, I think, Half a Day, there's a, I don't remember really the title, but there's a man called Dr. Stockman who said, the quest for justice. So therefore, one of the most we can actually remember from the departed leader, Honorable Raila Odinga, is that when he voluntarily chose a very difficult thing, and it has not happened again. He chose to resign, go back, get another party, and go back to his people, and again in Langata in 1994. That is not a feat that has been, or that is not broken by anybody. We may act brave, we may act courageous, but we have never gotten to that level. He is one consummate politician who has been extremely successful, powerful when he's in government, and powerful when he's not in government. He was just as powerful when he was in government as when he was not. He was as powerful when he was Prime Minister, and when he was leader of opposition, when he was in the handshake, and when he was in the broad-based. I may not have agreed with him when he moved to work with President William Ruto, but he always pursued what he believed in his heart was a correct thing, and I think it's a lesson that all of us should be able to carry home. I want to congratulate Senator Redama, and by the way, in the spirit of honoring and remembering the ripe times of our departed Prime Minister, one thing that we must also acknowledge and recognize is the kind of mentorship that he offered to young leaders. Mr. Speaker, Senator Redama is fairly a very young senator, not of course as young as I am, but he's fairly a young senator, and has been given quite a huge role on the parliamentary responsibility, being the minority whip. The same case to Senator Sifuna, who is the deputy minority whip and the secretary general of the party. The same case to Senator Eddie, who is my age mate and chairman of a committee. And many other. Senator Ososi is fairly a young person and is the deputy party leader. He has been able, and he has been seen, when we speak about the leaders of tomorrow, he actually was in the forefront in preparing the leaders of tomorrow. You don't just speak about leaders of tomorrow and you are doing nothing about it. There are many other people who do not want to give young people opportunities to grow and to exercise the talents and leadership capacities and potentials that they have. I also want to congratulate Senator Redama for this bill, which in my opinion, Mr. Speaker, or Madam Speaker, sorry, wants to operationalize Article 96 of our Constitution. Mr. Speaker, in the quest for hunting for resources, especially to our counties, we hunt hand in hand, especially with the governors. If you remember, Mr. Speaker, and I can see, I think Senator Dama was one of those who sat in the mediation committee, look at the kind of canvassing, the kind of support, the kind of camaraderie that we got from the Council of Governors. Mr. Speaker, or Madam Speaker, sorry, I keep forgetting, because there was a Mr. Speaker before you, please forgive me. If you see the kind of support that we got from the Council of Governors, it is the same support that we would require and would not even request. Is the same kind of support that we would expect when we are overseeing how this money has been spent, Mr. Speaker. But once this money has gone and budgeted, Mr. Speaker, that now becomes the beginning of the sore part of our relationships with the Council of Governors and the County Executive, Mr. Speaker. I'm happy that I'm seeing Senator Ososi here. You remember during the formula debate that we had here, there is something that we passed has not been there on the affirmative fund that I'm seeing Senator Ososi here. You remember during the, that has not been there on the affirmative fund that was felt, Mr. Speaker, required incentives so that they can grow as much as the others, Mr. Speaker. His county, Vihiga, qualified, my own county, Nyandaro, qualified, and 9 other counties, Mr. Speaker, qualified. What would have expected, and I know this is what Senator Osotsi would have expected, is that this extra 364 million that we got for the counties, Mr. Speaker, would have been budgeted as special budget so that Vihiga County, Mr. Speaker, can be able to show that over and above what we had budgeted, because they have already done their budget estimates, Mr. Speaker, over and above what they had budgeted for that financial year, for the county of Nyandaro, over and above what they had budgeted in their budget, Mr. Speaker, this is the extra that we have gotten from the Senate, 364 million, and this is how we shall use it, not amalgamating it in the main budget. Mr. Speaker, sadly, all that money was put together with the entire money that came from the equitable share, the money that they got from the own source, and so, Mr. Speaker, you are not able to point where is this affirmative, where is this money that we passed. How would you tell Senator Osotsi that you brought money to the people of Vihiga, and there's nothing that you can point, specific thing that you can point, that out of the money, and Senator Mwaruma, because we were together with you, out of the money that we passed in this Senate, Madam Speaker, we got you an extra. So your roads will be done because you bought machineries. So your seeds will be improved because we got you improved seeds. Your new hospital will get a new wing. These ECD centers are the ones that we got out of this extra money. Mr. Speaker, Madam Speaker. So therefore, what this bill seeks to cure, in my opinion, is this thing that governors look at us with suspicious eyes. They feel that we are witch hunting them when we want to ask them questions. Mr. Speaker, once you have subjected yourself, and you know there are many elective positions, Mr. Speaker. You can choose to be president, you can choose to be governor, you can choose to be senator, you can choose to be... Many of the people who are here, Mr. Speaker, Madam Speaker, actually qualify for all the positions. But you have chosen the side of being to oversight. If you choose to go to become a governor, then you must be ready. You must be ready to be accountable. And this is a constitutional provision. The same constitution that has made you governor is the same constitution, Article 96, that tells you that you are senator and the Senate will pay oversight on the money that we give you. There's no way that you are very welcoming when we are giving you money. But when we want to ask you how you have spent this money, you don't want. And there are two things that I want to first speak about that I have seen in the bill that are actually very good. Number one is Article 17, Part 2C, facilitating access to information held by county government. Madam Speaker, you actually know that in the case of Busia, you saw it. The senator for Busia, the Honorable Andrew Okia Omtata, had to actually go to court so that the courts can grant from the county, Madam Speaker. What a sad state. If a senator cannot get these documents, who can? And access to information is a requirement by law. There is no private documents that are kept in any government offices, Mr. Speaker. You don't keep your ID there. You don't keep your title deed there. You don't keep your bank statements there. You don't keep your medical records there. Whatever is in that particular office is public records, and they should be readily available to members of public and to senators as when and if they are required, Mr. Speaker. So therefore, I allowed the Senator Olekina, because of this particular provision, that there should be facilitation of access to information to all, not to just the senator. If an MCA wants information about a project that happened in such and such a place, that information should be able to be provided. How this project, first, is it in the CIDP? Was it in the annual development plan? If it was there then, was it in the budget? If it was in the budget, well, how was it procured? If it was procured properly, when were the services rendered? If the services were rendered and the certificates have been issued, when was it paid? If it has not been paid, where does it feature in the books of the county? If it was paid, these are the documents that were required, and it was paid in such and such a date. Madam Speaker, That information is not private information. Nobody should refuse with that kind of information. That is information that should be readily available for everybody. Number two, it is in the same article 17D, engage communities and interest groups on the formulation of plans for the economic development of the county. Madam Speaker, for the economic development of a county, there are two guiding documents that are provided for in law. The long-term plan is the County Integrated Development Plan, CIDP. It is in this CIDP that people say that in these 5 years that you have been given as governor, we expect you to do this, we expect you to do this, we expect you to do this, and over and above what they have asked that it should be done, they also give priorities. In terms of priorities, this is would want you to start with health, and on the matters of health, would want you to upgrade JM Karaoke Hospital. Would want you to deal with education. Would want you to deal with agriculture and all this, Mr. Speaker. So therefore, communities must get a voice in matters CIDP. The second document, Madam Speaker, which is now the short-term document, is the annual development plan. Budgets must be derived from the annual development plan. This kind of governance, this habit of governance, Madam Speaker, changing programs haphazardly. Today, you are speaking about buying, I don't know, Senator Olekina, whether you help me. There is, oh yeah, I remember now. There is something that they brought in Nyandarua, I think in the first year of our governor. Now he was saying so that we increase in milk production, now we are giving farmers super napier. Super napier, so that now the milk production will go so high. They put it in the budget the first year, I think 12.5 million, then another in the supplementary, another 12.5 million. Just before that program kicks off, Madam Speaker, the next year, the governor told us now we are not dealing with super napier again, now we are dealing with APO. We now will stop doing or giving super napier, we will now start giving you APOs. And I think the budget was prepared, some people are given APOs. Just before farmers in Nyandarua start acclimatizing on how we shall do APO farming, we are now told I think now the current program is coffee growing in Nyandarua. Madam Speaker, how this have been derived from the annual development plan, we must, Madam Speaker, stop this habit of governance. Senator Mwaruma, and told you that this is working in my county, you want to rush it and customize it in your county. The factors that are there in Taita Taveta are not the same. The challenges of Narok are not the challenges of Nyandarua. The challenges of Narok are issues to do with livestock. If I want to teach him on cabbages farming, maybe it does not do as better as it does in Nyandarua County, Madam Speaker. So therefore, I really support this particular provision in law. And number F is monitor the spending patterns of public entities within the county. This is also very, very important. That this bill seeks to give the senator the powers to monitor the spending patterns, Madam. We try and cure this issue that, and I have been a member of the Public Accounts Committee. I think I was there for 2.5 years, or rather, I think, it was 2.5 years, Madam Speaker. And the problem that we have, I'm wondering whether 10 minutes is, I think I speak either very slowly or I speak very fast, so I don't notice when my time goes. Or I think the words that Mogera uses when I'm speaking is a bit different. But I want to be very, very quick, Madam Speaker. So that we try and cure this problem of the Public Accounts Committee being a committee of morticians, that you only deal with matters once they have already happened. This provision, Madam Speaker, is monitor spending patterns. This one is meant to monitor. As things are happening, you're able to monitor. You have a view of what is happening in Nyamira. You have a view of such and such a project was there in the budget. How far is it? Has it been procured? Has the services started been happening? Madam Speaker, you know, some projects are long-term. So you are given a 2-year contract. Madam Speaker, when the contract has not been spent, you are not able to raise questions, even at the Public Accounts Committee level, Madam Speaker. But now tell me, If you are supposed to do this project in 2 years, and 1 year, 6 months you have not started, how will you start in the last 6 months? And you're not supposed to ask a question because the contract is alive. I think this is what Senator Olekina wanted to cure when he brought this particular bill. I have spoken about this. This is 18.6. The county executive committee member shall avail, and the use of the word shall is very critical, shall avail the senator with pertinent information. It's not a request. If I want information on anything, this is a public entity, on anything, any project, any program, any government program, including, Madam Speaker, you know, we have had a challenge, even getting to know the prayer breakfast of the national prayer breakfast, how much was spent by either parliament, the national government. Nobody knows how much was spent. Prayer breakfast, you're even hiding money that you are using to pray. You're just talking to God. You don't want to know, you don't want us to know how much you spent when you wanted to speak to God. I mean, Madam Speaker, these are things that should be so straightforward. And I think they should, and I think 19 also speaks about these documents being availed to the members of public. This is also something else that I was able to pick. The clerk of the Senate may provide such logistical support as necessary. Madam, maybe I would want you to move an amendment, Senator Olekina, so that you don't leave it as a prerogative of the clerk of the Senate to either offer or not. Because when you say that may offer, he may choose not to. He may start with Kiambu. Or Wajir is so far, and it should be the clerk of the Senate shall provide. It should be his obligation to support senators as they carry out their oversight role. Maybe finally, Senator Olekina, as we think about the miscellaneous provisions that are here, I have seen that there are regulations that will be moved by the county executive committee member. And one of them, notwithstanding the generality of subsection 1, the CEC member may